Oh, hello, hello. Welcome into another episode of When Sarah Met Clara. With Sarah Chave and Clara Apollo here, chatting about the energy behind things and how we're feeling at the moment. And we're sort of rolling around the seasons with it all as well. And in the last episode, we were getting into the power of the liver energy and how we can really help to clear anger and give space to the liver. You know, it was lovely that movement that you did, Sarah, when we were opening the side of the body and letting the liver breathe. You don't often think about that, but yeah, how are you feeling at the moment around this time of the late spring?
Yeah, well, the liver definitely needs a lot of care because it can tend to go into stagnation.
Oh, no.
And the energy of the liver is of growth, of bursting forth, of moving forward. But I don't know about you, I have felt challenged, particularly since the last eclipse. You
Oh
know,
gosh.
I had Shirley Batty on,
Oh great.
and she was talking about on my New Earth podcast, and she was talking about expect the unexpected, and I was like, oh yes,
Yes.
expect the unexpected, and then it started happening, and it's like, oh okay.
Yeah, yeah, that big shift of that eclipse, that you don't know what's going to happen because it was a Scorpio, wasn't it? A new moon, and then so you know that some deep healing is occurring, and it because it tends to be happening in the subconscious realm. It doesn't, you don't really get. I don't know. I got taken out. I couldn't actually compute in my conscious mind for a good couple of days. I could literally just potter, bimble, and mooch and cut myself some slack. And then
Yes.
and then and then it was like one expecting that, like you say, and it's like, gosh. So the levels of clearing the old are really revving up now, aren't they? Are you feeling that too?
Yeah, I mean, and we've got this opportunity and this because we're still in the eclipse window. You know, I think its effects are going to be. It was a strong one from what I can gather, and I think
Yeah.
its effects are going to last for a while. So, utilizing that liver energy to have a good clean out is a good
Yes.
opportunity. But you know, I think what's happening is that people have been tested, people are feeling challenged.
Yeah.
And when we're challenged, it's easy to go into despair. And it's
Yeah.
something that Rory Duff was talking about when he was on my podcast last month. And he spoke about the importance of generating hope, which is also a quality of the liver, because one of the things that the liver does from a Chinese medicine perspective is it connects with our eyes, with our vision,
Hmm.
and our eyes help us see our path. The liver is to do with the seat of the soul, so it's our soul path that we're helped to see be seen. So that then generates hope because we can see solutions, we can see the way forward. If we're in despair, we're in stagnation, we're in that
Mm.
stuckness of the liver energy.
Mm.
So how can we shift out of that stagnation into the hope on a very physical level, you know, because
Yeah.
if we're not doing it on a physical level, then it's kind of out there. It's like, oh, maybe this will happen. It's never reachable, you know. Whereas if we can see,
Yeah.
okay, this is my path and I can see it, and it's coming from a really different place that's very manifest.
Yeah, I love that thing of getting the body to move, and even like small movements. And I think we were talking before, that demonstration of just turning on the spine gives the liver room. So if you can do it in a really small way, it doesn't have to be full on. But it is that the liver is also the supporter or the controller of the heart, because of course the liver holds a lot of blood, doesn't it? And so
Yes.
there's a deep relationship between the liver and the heart. So as we're coming from the wood energy in the liver and the seasons, we're coming into the summer, which is the heart expression, which will be delving into in a future episode or three. But to like with that hope piece there, the hope, like you can feel that possibility kind of opening into the heart energy of like, what is your path, as you say, but being led by the heart. So where is my heart leading me to with the support of the liver? And to also know that if you don't know the full pathway, you're not quite sure what your destination is, but you can feel the energy of where you're being drawn along. You literally, at the moment, I'm feeling just doing one step at a time, really feeling measured in your steps, going, this feels right. I know this feels right deep in my soul. Do you know what I mean? It's like that.
Absolutely. I love that, Clara. And from a Chinese medicine point of view, the liver is the mother of
That's it.
the fire element.
Yes.
There's a beautiful cycle in Chinese medicine, and it's how the elements feed one another, and it reflects what happens in nature. Like if you put wood on the fire is going to get bigger. So therefore, bringing hope is going to lead us very beautifully into that joy, into that summer energy. That's that heart. If we're in the
Mm.
despair, the heart's not going to be very present, but it's opening the way to
But
that
it also,
potential.
yeah, as you're speaking around that, how the wood supports the fire and the liver supports the heart. It's like there's a substantiality to that. I think when we just speak about working from the heart, it's like, well, the heart needs to feel safe to be able to do its work properly. And yeah, you can work with the chakras as well. Absolutely. Those filing cabinets of energy that support the heart. It's a beautiful way to look at how the chakras work. But in the Chinese medicine perspective that I know you and I are deeply steeped in, is the power of the dantian as well, that you've got the lower dantian that is your fundamental foundational source. And that's like the water element, isn't it? And then there's a whole internal alchemy around that kind of bubbles up and connect and nurtures the heart. And then the heart has got that that foundation of what's below it, not only the dantian but also the liver as well. So you can really feel that when you nurture the support and the foundations, then the
Yes.
heart has more space to express and be true and lead you well.
That's absolutely wonderful. I love everything you're saying, and my mind's skipping into the three brains as well. That connection, because we can easily operate just in the head brain, but we
Mm.
want that coherence between the head brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain. So that gut brain then brings in the whole digestive system, including the liver. So that's this is the beauty of this work, is that the systems, Chinese medicine, pathways, everything overlapped, and it just makes perfect sense. So
It does. And also, although we're like highlighting these the different seasons and different organs and all that, everything's a synergistic whole, and it's getting it all to flow naturally in its way. You talk about stagnation and how things can get stuck and get poorly. You can feel like, well, if one aspect of you isn't happy and is like that, it's going to affect everything else. So
yes.
one of the simple things to do is just to keep moving. If you feel like you're stuck or you're in freeze mode and you're just like, I don't know which way to turn, just like do some sort of movement.
Yes.
Whatever movement calls you, your system knows. Some of us love dancing. Some of us it's just going and being out in the garden, or go for that walk, or just some form of movement. That whole bipedal movement thing, it frees things up. It helps the body to find its own flow again, doesn't it?
That's it, because our system wants to find balance, and it's like
Yes.
the stresses and the traumas that can stop that, and we get into this kind of stuckness. And certainly movement can help the lymphatic system and the systems of the
Yes.
body to circulate. So that alone will help to generate some positive way forward if we are feeling stuck. So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
we spoke about me doing a little balancing.
Yeah, yes, that would be. There's one thing I'd like to drop in about this word hope, as I think that's a really important one, and just feeling what that word does to your energy system when you say it, hope, when you feel it, hope. It's possible, isn't it? Stuff opens up. Hopefulness. And I was out on a walk the other day with a very dear friend in a bluebell wood, and I was talking about the ribbon of infinity, which I love, and you do too. That innate, like you can balance heaven and earth, you can just get that going. And she told me about a woman called Hope Fitzgerald. Have you come
I
across
haven't
her?
come across her.
who is working with the figure of eight, the lemniscate, the infinity flow with water. And I just wanted to drop this into this when Sarah met Clara, because I think that's something that both of us would find interesting to explore, and also to bring it in the fact that she's called Hope. And so that's when you bring hope into your waters, then
Yes.
that's going to lift your system. So I'm sure we'll talk about that more. But yeah, let's do a process.
Thank you so much. So let's just settle in. So everyone just making yourself comfortable. And during this, I'm just going to do a little mini session. It will just probably be about 10 minutes. And I'll invite you during the session to hold over different areas of your body. And this just helps anchor in this healing to bring oxygenated blood and awareness to different areas of your body. So let's just start by coming into our body, coming into our breath. Nice, deep, expansive breaths into the front, the sides, the back of the belly. And with every out breath, an invitation to release, relax, and let go. Letting go of any tension. You don't need to hold any tension anywhere in your body. Letting go of any emotion, any stress, any despair, any overwhelm, anything that's just sitting there. Really giving yourself permission to breathe it out. You might like to take a couple of deep breaths, breathing out through the mouth. And then I'm just tuning into the group energy field, setting the intention that anybody that listens to this session will receive this healing, be it now or in the future. And the first thing that is coming in is the liver. So you can just place your hand over the lower rib cage on the right-hand side, holding over the the liver. You might even want to give it a little rub. Bringing that awareness to that area. And the consciousness of hope. What does that feel like in your liver? Asking your liver to show you hope, because that awareness does sit in the liver. It helps us see our path. So asking the liver to balance on all levels, body, mind, and spirit. The consciousness of hope. We're then linking that into a liver acupuncture point, liver 13, which is at the end of the 11th rib. And it has many functions, including harmonizing the liver and the spleen chi. It also smooths the liver chi. But again, it's actually the consciousness aspects of that liver point that we're going to work with. So it's almost like we're putting in energetic acupuncture needles into that point. And it's really going to help to, as we bring this hope into balance, it's also going to help with our boundaries. Because some of if we're in despair, it's because we're too diluted, we're all over the place, we're feeling like this is all too much. I can't really take this. So to move into hope, it's that clarity of our path. So we need to set our boundaries around what we can and can't do, having healthy boundaries. So this point is going to help activate that. It's also going to help clear any stagnation, what we were talking about earlier, getting the energies of the liver moving, enabling us to receive. You know, if we're in despair, we're not receiving those beautiful light codes from the universe, that beautiful connection of being in the flow of life. And it's also going to help us with control, for bringing this consciousness into balance as well. Because if we can see our path, then we feel much more able to move in the direction that we wish to move in. So this is then linking into a consciousness aspect, and it's to do with time. So again, a lot of that despair may come from the belief there isn't enough time. You know, it's all kind of happening, and there's not the time to deal with this sort of a thing. So we're going to work with our relationship with time and how that connects into the liver, because the liver is all about planning. It's all about, you know, it can help us to plan our day and things like that, and our life. So the liver wants to have a good relationship with time. If it feels there's no time, there's going to be a lot of stress in the liver. So it's about basically choosing activities that are inspiring, and also really bringing a good relationship between work and play in terms of how we organize our time, so that there's this sense of inspiration and joy that comes through, but also being present, which is, it's bringing in that heart energy really into our relationship with time. So again, something Clara spoke about earlier, the relationship between the liver and the heart and how they're interacting. So if you'd like to, you can just place your hand over the heart, because it does seem to be feeding in through this relationship with time. And I'm just going to start the balancing. So just taking some really nice deep breaths into the belly, supporting the liver to come into better balance on all levels, body, mind, spirit, around hope, clearing any stagnation, setting healthy boundaries. And then letting the liver have a fresh look at how it perceived time, clearing any stress, any beliefs if there isn't enough time, knowing that the liver can connect into the heart's energy field of being present, being inspired, balancing work and play, and even better, seeing our work as play, bringing in that joy, knowing that everything is in perfect time, including the unfolding of our path. Really breathing into that, allowing that oxygenated blood into the liver, allowing your liver to show you hope, to show you that connection with joy. Okay, that's complete. So you can relax your hands. We're now going to work with a belief, and the belief is, I am stuck. And also there's another belief that's kind of interweaving with this, and it's there's no hope in the future. These are wood element beliefs of when we're not in our flow in the wood element. So we're going to work with these beliefs to really shift that flow. And we're going to anchor it into Mother Earth to really allow that connection with Mother Earth to enable us to feel nourished, to feel foundations, and to have that knowing of manifestation. The earth element enables us to feel the abundance. We just have to look at nature. We just need to look at an orange tree to see how plentiful nature is. So we're going to be tuning into these consciousness aspects and allow them to really dissipate these beliefs. So just taking some really nice deep breaths. If you'd like to, you can just tap over your heart energy field to support this. Maybe place the other hand on the belly to just help you feel anchored, connecting in through the soles of the feet to Mother Earth. And we're letting go of the belief, I am stuck, knowing that this is not serving you. This is not who you are. This has probably come from childhood. It's part of your conditioning. But you can let this go now. Taking a few nice deep breaths, really giving yourself permission to shift your consciousness into growth, into expansion, into fully embracing the wood element. Letting go of the belief there's no hope in the future. Knowing that the external world only reflects our inner beliefs. So choosing consciously to let this go. Knowing that the liver is capable of generating hope and seeing your path for a beautiful future of manifesting and co-creating your world. So really letting go of this belief, there's no hope in the future. And then just taking a couple of really nice deep breaths. Feeling your fingers, feeling your toes, maybe giving them a wiggle. And thank you so much for listening and receiving the session. How's that settling in for you, Clara?
Well, I'm just feeling the great wheel of chi coming around, but I was thinking, no, I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking. It was being with that other state of being when you can let yourself be guided by someone else. You do that so beautifully. So thank you. And to tune into how your system is and what it needs. And I found myself yawning. I'm thinking, yeah, yawning is so good because that's a release of stuck energy. And it's also a nervous system reset, isn't it?
It
So
really
it's like,
yeah, it's your body processing through when you yawn, burp, tummy gurgles, anything like that.
yeah,
It's energy
yeah.
moving.
But I was also getting like my eyes are watering. I thought, oh yeah, liver and eyes, as you said. So it's like there's a clearing that can come through the eyes as well. So yeah, and that so when we're letting go of not of the belief that there's not hope, to bring in a positive affirmation. So I'm just wondering if we could like offer that up just to complete, to fill the space now with something simple like there is always hope or something, whatever.
It
Is
comes in
this?
automatically when we're
Yes,
shifting.
okay.
It's working, but you can always do that work with the positive affirmations. It's
Yes.
just the it's because the way I'm working is clearing a lot of
Mm,
stuff. It
mm.
helps to really clear that out. But if you're not feeling hope at the moment, then that can definitely be the affirmation. There is
Yeah,
hope in my future.
there
I'm
is hope in
creating
my
my
life.
path.
Yes.
I'm co-creating, my manifesting what I want in my life, anything like that.
Yeah.
You can always work with the positive, but in the session, it's the way to shift that is
To
to
shift it,
really
and I
look,
like what
observe it.
yeah, and what you said about it will come in. It will be different for each and every one of you. That when you clear that space out of that, there will come in something. There will be a gift from that, and it will be yours. And if you notice that, just maybe affirming that with a breath or a color, it might not be any words, but it'll be something that will show you
Absolutely.
something shifted. Yes.
And with the work that I do, you'll just see that those things start to drop in, automatically. Like I'll be very surprised if people are not feeling more clarity around their path and their direction and all
Yeah.
that stuff after this session. So
So, and we would love to hear from you as well.
yeah,
For
let us
watching
know
this
how you
on.
found it. And
Yeah, just.
also, Claire and I were talking before about community, and
Mm,
I'm hoping that you're getting the vibe of this with this, that Claire and I coming together and being with each other, sharing in an informal way, really wanting to kind of move towards community. So do share the love and share this podcast if it's resonated with the friends that you feel will benefit from this.
Definitely. Thank you for wherever you're listening or watching this, wherever you can comment. But it's the YouTube on Sarah Chave's New Earth podcast, YouTube or Tea Time TV. There are spaces to comment there, which is great. And then we can continue the conversation. So
Yeah,
thank
we'd
you.
love to
Yeah,
hear from you.
we
Thank you
would.
so much. And
Thank
any
you for
comments, we'll
everything.
really certainly try and build them into the next episode around the
Yes.
fire element. So things to do with moving into the heart's energy.
Well, it might be via the air element because I've got a little story to share around that. So we will be dropping that in for sure.
Fabulous.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sarah. Always a
And
joy to
thank
hang
you,
out with
Clara.
you.
It's always such a pleasure to connect with you. And thanks everyone for listening. Till next
Yay.
time.